Hello and welcome to View from the Decks, the show where we take you on a journey down the Solent and examine the history of what we can see from the deck of the Steamship Shieldhall. Before Southampton Docks looked like it does today, the waterfront was nowhere near as sophisticated. Many ship services had to use the overcrowded town quay, which at the time was the only major dock in Southampton serviceable for steamships. In 1831, the Act of Parliament authorised the construction of a second dock, and in 1833, Princess Victoria, later crowned Queen Victoria, opened the pier. Originally named Victoria Pier, over the coming years, the structure was slowly but surely weakened by worms. In 1838, the jetty was closed and renovated. After reopening, operations on the Victoria Pier were able to expand, including the construction of a railway line to the end of the promenade from Southampton Terminus Station. It wasn't until 1891 that the structure needed to be renovated again, this time with iron instead of wood. This upgrade and expansion saw a major shift in operations and functionality, moving the pier from not only commercial use for shipping, but also to recreational use for the public. A floating pontoon was added to the pier, as well as a pavilion. The name Victoria Pier was also changed to Royal Pier around this time. During World War I, the jetty was closed to the public as it was a significant target for German bombers, and unfortunately, the dock was rammed by a ship. The damage from the collision was so severe, the railway line would never fully recover, and the line officially closed in 1921. Although the dock was reopened, renovated and expanded once again during the interwar period, it was shut down once again for World War II and reopened afterwards in 1947 despite suffering bomb damage. In the 1950s, the pier was renovated one final time, utilising the whale sections of the former Mulberry Harbour that loaded troops onto carriers for World War II and adapting them to support the roll-on, roll-off ferries that are used for the Isle of Wight ferry service. However, Associated British Ports, who operate Southampton docks, closed down the Royal Pier in 1980 due to the pier becoming economically unviable. In 1984, Red Funnel purchased the dock and shorefront of the Royal Pier, but before any development could happen, disaster struck. In 1987, the pier catastrophically went up in flames, the timber decking and wooden pavilion fueling the flames that reduced the entire structure to a burnt wreck. After a few more fires ensured the damage was completely done, in 1997, an ABP manager quoted that the Royal Pier was no longer recognisable as a traditional pier structure. Since then, several plans have been raised to restore the Grade 2 listed dock to its former glory, but aside from the Gatehouse building, which is now a restaurant, the pier has remained in its charred state for over 35 years. Shieldhall always passes by this remnant of Southampton's original waterfront as we sail for every cruise. Although the pier looks bad now, the future remains optimistic for this burnt part of Southampton's heritage. The road to repair for this pier will be a long and difficult one, but we at the Shieldhall charity remain hopeful that one day we will be able to sail past and wave at crowds as they line the beautifully restored Royal Pier promenade. Until that day comes, we will still wave to those at Mayflower Park, Town Quay, and other ships as they pass us by. We hope to welcome you on board soon.